welcome to Paleo Kisses Kitchen. Today we're going to do a roast dinner paleo style. So I've got a large chicken, which will serve about 4 to 5 people. We've got some crushed garlic cloves and salted butter, salt and pepper for the chicken. We've got a large cauliflower and some spring onions, which we're going to make a mash out of. We've got broccoli and we've got sweet potatoes so that you can still have your roasties. So the main thing about cooking a roast dinner is your timings. So obviously you're going to start off with the meat first because it takes the longest. Usually when you buy it in a packet in a supermarket these days it tells you how long, but I always find that's too short, so we had about 20 minutes on. This one's going in for 2 hours and I've preheated the oven to 190, which is very important or it won't cook as much as you want it to. So to get started, I've got my crushed garlic cloves and I'm literally just going to stuff them in the hole. And I've got this melted butter here, which I'm going to baste the chicken in now. The great thing about paleo, cooking with butter makes the best chicken skin ever, if you like that sort of thing. So don't be shy with that butter because it makes it really juicy and it makes the skin really crispy. I'm going to sprinkle some salt on there. Don't need to rub it in because it'll stick to the butter anyway. And we like it peppery. So my chicken's really well seasoned and the oven's been preheating for about 10 minutes, so that's ready to go in. The great thing about this is just bung it in for an hour and then you can come back to do your roast potatoes. That chicken's been in for an hour now, it's looking pretty good. I'm just going to baste it with a bit more butter and then we're going to get started on the potatoes, on the roasties and the rest of the veg. To be honest, this is like one of the easiest meals you can make really. It's just a bit time consuming and it can be a bit messy too. Butter. I'm also going to make a gravy, so this butter makes for very nice juices. Some more seasoning. So that can go back in and I've turned it around for the second half. And this disgusting blob here is goose fat for the roasties, which you want to put in there to heat up, and then once you chuck your sweet potatoes in there, you'll get a really nice sizzle and it'll give it a really nice crisp around the outside. Sweet potatoes, so you peel them and you chop them as you would normal potato. In fact, it's slightly easier because it's slightly softer. My personal favourite trick for making crispy roasties is to just score them as you would like a crackling. So if you just give them a few lines in each slice, so the more edges you have, the crispier it'll be. So once all your potatoes are peeled, chopped and scored, then you can take the tray with the hot fat out. Be very careful because this is going to sizzle and it might spit at you. See, that's all melted. I like to just chuck them in from a distance. So bad. I'm just going to use a spoon to make sure that they're all fully coated. And we're going to we'll be flipping these halfway as well, and they need to go in for about 45 minutes. You can also leave, if they're not quite crispy enough, you can leave them whilst the chicken rests and whack up the heat. But should be just nice. So whack those in and put yourself a timer on for about half an hour when you're going to come back and prepare the rest of your veg. My timer's just gone off for half an hour, so first I'm going to check these roasties. Some of that hot fat sizzling away. So they're definitely cooking, so they'll be starting to crisping off soon. So just give them a nice shuffle, flip them over if you can, and make sure they're well coated. And then they can go straight back in. So I've got another timer on for half an hour, and I know that that's when the chicken's done. So I'm going to start doing the rest of the veg now. First I'll show you how to do the cauliflower. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to prepare a cauliflower. Just all I do is I rip off all these outer leaves, and then I pretty much break off the florets and I give the dog the stalk. I've peeled all those outer leaves off and I've just chopped off that bit of the stalk there. And to get myself started, I'm just going to break those off like that. That went better than expected. We're not really that bothered about good form because this is all going to be pureed up because we're making a cauliflower mash anyway. Now Jean gets his treat. Sit. There you go. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to chop these up a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to put them into the steamer, which is this contraption here. One of the best ways to cook your veg, because you keep all the nutrients this way, whereas when you boil it you actually lose a lot of what you want out of the vegetables in the water. Put that in there. So the secret ingredient for this mash is some spring onion, and seriously, you may never have tried this before, but you need to. It's a revelation. So all you need to do is top and tail these. A few chops, and you can just chuck them in to steam with the cauliflower, because it's all going to be cooked together and then puree together at the end anyway. We'll add a bit of butter and double cream in there to make it nice and rich. This is my steamer, so I've got my bottom section here. I'm just going to pour some already boiling water in. Lovely. Shut the hob on full heat. I'm going to put this cauliflower on first because it's a bit tougher than the broccoli, so it takes longer to cook. So that's literally what you need to do for steaming. With cauliflower it takes about 10 minutes. With broccoli 8 to 7, depending how you like it. I've got this tray to go in the middle, so I'm going to chop up my broccoli, put it in there, and in 2 or 3 minutes I'll put it on the bottom so that it cooks through. Okay, the final timer's gone off now for the chicken, so now is the moment of truth. See if it's cooked. Oh yeah. Looking good. So I need to check that this is cooked all the way through, so we're looking for clear juices. And a deep bit of the breast, yep. That's cooked all the way through. So I'm going to put it on this cool bit of hob here. I'm going to leave it to rest for 10 minutes. Check the potatoes. They're crispier than they were, but not as much as I want them to be. So whilst that chicken's resting, this is your opportunity to put them on the top shelf and whack up the heat for 10 minutes. And then you should get some really nice crispy bits on there. The broccoli and the cauliflower is both on the steamer now, so once the time's up, that means the chicken will be ready. You can turn the oven off for your potatoes to keep them warm, do your puree for your cauliflower, and then serve up. I've also got a recipe for gravy, which is made with chicken stock, the chicken juices, and some coconut flour if you've got it, but that's up to you if you want to try it. Right, the chicken's been resting for a good 10 minutes now. So I just want to get all the juice out of the middle, which is a bit of a nightmare sometimes, but I'm just going to tip that up. There we go. And I'm going to use that for the sauce I'm going to make in a minute. Okay, I'm going to make this steamed cauliflower into a lovely pureed cauliflower. I've got a nice big chunk of salty butter. I've got some double cream, which I forgot to mention at the start. You might not need that though, because it can be quite a watery vegetable anyway. And you need just a hand blender, and it's a case of just pulsing and pulsing and pulsing until you get it as smooth as you like it. So as you can see, I've just pureed and pureed and pureed and pureed that until it's about as smooth as mashed potato. You might still have a few bits of spring onion in there, but it's cooked and it's nice flavour anyway. Okay, so chicken's cooked, roasts are done, mash is done, and so is your broccoli. Now I'm going to have a go at making a paleo gravy that Kyle came up with a while back. I've got some coconut flour here. Gonna sprinkle in a couple of teaspoons of this onto the resting juices of the chicken. I've already scraped up all the flavourful bits, and I'm using a silicone whisk so as not to scratch the pan, and I just want to cook this flour off to make a base of the sauce. So whisk away. Okay, so now I'm going to add this chicken stock I have. Nice. Don't worry, that's not the sauce, that's just my dirty hob. I'm going to mix that all in. Whisking, whisking, whisking. So there's not really any lumps in there, and you're getting a really nice colour. You can tell that's like a proper chicken gravy. Once this is all bubbling and any flour is dissolved in that, you just put it over a jug with a sieve to get any bits off the bottom of the tray, and it's a really nice, smooth, coconutty chickeny gravy. So it's all done, and I'm really looking forward to it. We've got a chicken leg each, our broccoli, mash, roast potatoes, and this very nice coconut chicken gravy, which I'm going to have all over